ready? Spooky creatures lurking in the dark of night. A cool fall breeze lingering in the air. Time spent dressing up with friends. All of these things are what make Halloween fun and exciting. How many of you love Halloween? How many of you know the origins of this fall holiday? Today, I want to share with you the history of Halloween and how it became what it is today. Samhain is a Celtic holiday. The direct translation is summer's end. It starts November 1st, and it marks the beginning of winter and the end of harvest season. It was believed that the dead rose up from their graves as ghosts, goblins, witches, and yes, even elves, to haunt the people. Cats were held sacred because they were believed to be humans come back to be punished for their previous lives. Sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? All Saints' Day is another contributing origin of Halloween, and it's said to be celebrated in the early 4th century by the Catholic and Protestant churches, honoring martyrs and saints. There's no exact time period in which it technically began, but it was recorded as early as the legalization of Christianity in the year 313. It was also not celebrated originally in fall. It was celebrated May 13th. Because of the growing interest of this fall holiday, the Christian churches did take notice to this and would have special fall celebrations to gain new members. The church also encouraged everyone, children and adults, to dress up for the fall celebrations. Now that you know the origins of Halloween, let me tell you about the history of the costumes. For All Saints, the people would dress up as angels, devils, and saints to celebrate the passing of loved ones and sacred ones. Samhain, people would dress up in animal skins and heads, and they would all put out their own home fires all over the city. And in the center of the city, they would have a huge bonfire. In the bonfire, they would burn offerings such as crops, animals, and yes, even humans. From this blessed fire, they would reignite their home hearths, and when it was all done. In 1840, the immigrants from Ireland were escaping the Great Potato Famine, and with them, they brought the history of Samhain, and the American people were very fascinated by this. And from that, they would hold masquerade parties with different costumes. Around the same time, in Great Britain, in the 1900s, they celebrated the same way, and they would hold also downtown festivals. Later, paper costumes were developed, and in 1950s, latex costumes were also developed. Now that we've talked about costumes, I would like to tell you about the origins of trick-or-treating. The origins of trick-or-treating wasn't as cute as you would believe it to be today. As early as the 1900s, originating from European traditions, kids would go door to door, singing or pantomiming for their treats. With the houses that were not forthcoming with treats, they would vandalize their homes.
I was part of that.
Oh yeah? Now that you know about trick-or-treating, let me move to my summary. Halloween originated from pagan Celtic holiday, Samhain. Catholic and Christian churches tolerated this fall holiday in order to gain new members for their congregation. European traditions celebrated the first years of trick-or-treating. So this year, when you dress up and head out to your fall celebrations, I hope you can appreciate Halloween's history in our culture. I hope my insight today was a treat.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.